Please be aware, in this podcast series we talk about all areas of safeguarding, which some people may find upsetting. So please make sure you're okay listening to today's topic. Be mindful of those around you, such as children, that you might not want to listen in. Hi, I'm SSS Safeguarding Director Sam Preston.
And I'm former head teacher and content author Sarah Spinks.
Today we're exploring a really important topic in child development and safeguarding, and that's guiding children through difficult conversations. Sarah, you've recently written an article on this where you say that the first step in approaching challenging topics is thoughtful preparation. So could you elaborate on what that preparation looks like?
Yeah. Well, thoughtful preparation is foundational. It starts with selecting the right setting and timing for the conversation. A familiar and comfortable environment, it helps the child feel safe. Some children, you may prefer a private, one-on-one setting, such as their room or a quiet corner at school. Others might open up more during shared activities like walking in a park or during a car ride or, having a walk around a playground. So timing is also absolutely crucial. Make sure that both you and the child are in that sort of good mental space, free from distractions and stress, and that there's enough time to engage without rushing.
Yeah, and I know from work I've done and also, working with other practitioners, that's often the bit that they find most difficult because you really have to be in that space, and you just have to let the conversation just develop when the child is ready. So it makes a lot of sense. So when initiating these conversations that are going to be difficult, what approach should educators, and caregivers, what approach should they take to ensure that the child feels supported and not overwhelmed or frightened?
Absolutely. Well, I think the tone is really, really important. It should be gentle and non-confrontational. And I think it's essential to sort of strike that balance. Being too forceful can intimidate the child, while being too vague might cause confusion. So make the conversation relevant and relatable to the child's experiences. For instance, if discussing a sensitive topic like illness, then you might relate it to a story from a book or a situation from a TV show that they like. This not only makes that conversation less intimidating, but it also helps the child understand the context better, I think, as well.
Yeah. Speaking of books and media, you also mentioned using external resources. So how effective are those tools in facilitating tough dialogues?
Well, I think obviously it's age appropriate, but external resources, are incredibly helpful because they provide that sort of structured way to introduce and discuss complex topics. There's numerous age-appropriate books that can help adults address sensitive subjects. For example, books about grief, such as Invisible String by Patrice Karst, that can help children understand and process loss. Reading together can make the child feel supported. It can offer them a way to express their thoughts and feelings about the topic. And discussions following the reading can often provide valuable insights, into their understanding concerns. So using that as a mechanism to begin a conversation sometimes can be really helpful.
Yeah, that's a great strategy. Maintaining an open and ongoing dialogue, that's essential, isn't it? So for educators, how can they ensure they're actively listening? And valid is something I talk about a lot, actively listening. And, so you don't fall into that trap where you're listening to hear the things you want to hear, but actually listening to everything the child is saying and validating a child's feelings during these conversations. How do educators ensure they're doing that?
Well, I think like you said, Sam, active listening is indeed essential. And it involves more than just hearing those words, as you said. It's about understanding the emotions and the thoughts behind those words. Start by asking open-ended questions that encourage a child to express themselves. For instance, instead of asking, "Are you okay?" you might sort of say, "How are you feeling about what we talked about?" Give them ample time to respond and avoid interrupting. I know that's something I always really struggle with, and I have to be very conscious of that in these situations. Validate their feelings by acknowledging their emotions, such as saying things like, I understand this is really hard for you, and sort of offer reassurance of your support and understanding. That they're key elements, really.
Yeah, how conversations. I used to talk a lot about that, because you really are offering that opportunity where a child really, unless they just refuse to speak to you, you don't offer an opportunity for them to close the subject down. They're incredibly useful.
Yeah.
So creating a safe space for children as well to initiate difficult conversations, I think that's equally important. So what tips, again, would you say we should foster? What should we look for to foster that safe environment?
Well, I think creating a safe space requires intentional effort. When a child approaches you with a concern, make their comfort your priority. Ensure they feel heard and supported by giving them your full attention. Put away any distractions like phones or laptops and etc. Acknowledge their courage in bringing up the issue and sort of demonstrate empathy by actively listening and responding with care. So the physical environment also matters. It needs to be a quiet, comfortable space where the child feels secure and undisturbed. Having familiar items, again, age appropriate, like toys or books or comforting objects, cushions or whatever, age appropriate again, can also help that child feel more at ease, I think.
So there's some topics, really sensitive topics, like separation, illness, or loss. They really require extra care. And how should we be thinking about these types of conversations? How should they be handled differently?
Well, I think where topics are particularly challenging, they've got to be handled with that sort of heightened sensitivity. So I think begin by assessing the child's readiness to discuss the topic. Sometimes they're not ready. So you might have a conversation and it doesn't happen, but you've laid a bit of a foundation and you've given your support and you've shown that. Approach the conversation with a lot of compassion and patience. Use sort of simple, clear language that the child can understand. Reassuring them that it's okay to feel a range of emotions and that you're there to support them through it all. And sort of offer continuous support and be prepared for multiple discussions over time, as processing the events can take a while. So sometimes the first conversation is just you saying, I'm here if you need me, and laying that open. And then gradually, beyond, there may be moments where that child opens up more and more and more. And it's just that consistency of approach, which I think that consistent, sensitivity, the consistent compassion and patience, and the consistent use of clear language, the reassurance are important throughout all this.
Yeah, I mean, each interaction is an opportunity to strengthen trust, isn't it? And also it's an opportunity to foster that resilience for the child. And it's just having in mind, that you're not going to achieve everything you want to achieve in one conversation.
Yeah.
So what final advice would you give to listeners about navigating challenging conversations?
Well, I think my advice is, to approach every conversation with empathy, patience and openness, and that consistency really, understand that every child is unique and their reactions and needs will vary. We're not talking about one size fits all ever when we talk about children. You've got to be prepared to listen more than you speak, which I think for some of us in education is quite hard, but we have to actively do that. We have to validate their feelings and experiences. By doing so, you not only help them navigate those difficult topics, but also empower them, to face life's challenges with confidence and resilience. And remember, creating a supportive environment where every child feels valued and heard and understood is a cornerstone, really, for fostering their emotional well-being. I think that's crucial.
Yeah, it's interesting, the silence. There's all, I talk a lot about this, about the power of silence in a conversation. And as practitioners, you really do have to take a step back and not feel oh, nobody's saying anything, I've got to fill that space, or I've got to keep encouraging. Actually, it can be quite powerful just actually being in that moment with the child and not saying anything.
And really sort of limiting your own, because I think many of us within education have a hurry up driver because things are so time limited that we're always hurry up. And I think the fact that within a classroom, pace is always a big aspect of quality teaching and things such as that. This is totally different. This is totally different. So it requires you to quieten your own mind, quiet your own thoughts, and be present in that moment and have that presence with that child. And I think for many of us in education, that's quite difficult to do. So that's why that preparation, as we talked about, is foundational.
Yeah, really valuable insights, Sarah. Thanks for that. It's been a really enlightening conversation, and I'm sure listeners will have found your advice incredibly helpful. Of course, you can get more support with this topic. You can visit the resources section and obviously training on our website. And we've also got some parental resources up there too. There are a series of videos and whatnot available on our YouTube channel. So if you would like to access more, then have a look at our website.